Prop B amends the city charter, and one of those amendments states, notwithstanding Charter Section 464 or any other provision of the charter to the contrary, the referendary ordinance establishing the program may be amended and or repealed only as provided in that ordinance. Now, Charter Section 464 states that any time you have an ordinance enacted by a vote of the people, that is by referendum, proposition, etc., the only way that ordinance can be changed is by another vote of the people. However, this is amending the charter that says that the ordinance that's enacted through Prop B can be amended in another way. And that way is that it can be amended by a supermajority vote of the city council. In other words, they can change, absolutely, I can read it to you right here.
I know, but I don't like it.
Huh? No, I'm not, okay, hang on. And it can be amended, changed, done away with, etc., by a supermajority of the council. Why is it necessary that this change be made so that this ordinance now comes under the political process of the city council rather than under the process that it was created by?
Okay. My argument to that is, and this goes basically living in California, every so often, every 2 years, there's 20 initiatives on the state ballot, another 5 on the city ballot. I think people who care about good public policy are a little upset by sort of having these ballot measures come by, and the only way to amend it is to put it back on the ballot, and so you get stuck. I mean, the reason why our state budget is somewhat in a mess is because you get stuck in in ballot box budgeting. And so what you're seeing there is actually folks of good public policy nature trying to say, well, let's give us a little latitude. Instead of going and having these ballot initiatives, and maybe we get it wrong, maybe there's a mistake, good intentions and all of that, why should we have to go back and do another vote of the people when if we had just had a public deliberative hearing to change some of the language to tweak it, we wouldn't be in the place we are, which I think you see, one of the constraints of the state budget, one of the things, the way the city operates, the way many of the localities in California operate. I think if you talk to a good public policy person, they would argue that this portion within Measure B is something that should actually be inserted in all ballot propositions. So that way there is that flexibility and we're not always stuck having to be within these rigid guidelines.
So wait, yes on B says that the city council should be able to unilaterally change Prop 13 and raise property taxes? Because that's what you just said.
Yeah.
I'm saying in regards to this issue.
Why put anything on the ballot that we have to vote on?
I know. Why
That's
bother?
what you just said.
I didn't say.
We know how brilliant they are.
I think there's a public policy debate out there in terms of ballot box budgeting, and as to whether or not there should be flexibility.
This isn't budgeting. This isn't budgeting.
I understand that, but I'm talking about the good public policy nature of giving yourselves flexibility within a voter-approved initiative.
Talk about his question, you deflected off the issue.
Flexibility within a voter-approved initiative.
So
That relates to this.
as relates to this, so what we're saying here is that
It gives you flexibility within Measure B to make tweaks to it, yes.
well, no, it gives you flexibility to change it in its entirety if you so desire. Is that correct?
Or tweaks.
No. Can the city council, by a supermajority, change this entire ordinance if they so desire?
It can amend it to fix it, yes.
No.
Yeah.
You keep.
See, I'm not going to accept the preface of your question. I'm going to tell you the answer that I know. The answer is to amend it, to fix it.
That's been drummed into your head
They can amend it if they so
for
desire.
several weeks.
Yes, to fix it, correct.
Or to do whatever else they want with
To fix it.
And with the city council.
Who defines what a fix is?
it. Let me ask you one further question.
Yeah.
The ordinance does not fix any costs, but instead gives the DWP board with either the non-action of the city council or the approval of the city council, the sole power to determine how this measure will be financed and in what amounts. Why are there no limitations on that within the ordinance?
I think in regards to solar energy, we are on a new frontier. You can make an argument that you can do all your cost analysis based on today's market. I would argue that if you increase the demand of solar panels, the supply would increase and hence the price would go down. So for anyone to make an argument based on pure economics as to what the price would be today is just not being honest. I would argue that the price would ultimately go down, and like all energy, there's a fluctuation in the price. So what you would get at best is a range, and I think that's what is going to be talked about within the 90-day study.
Well, no, what I'm saying is though, let me ask you, is it not?
Are you asking about the bonds?
You know, is it not correct that an action of the commission with either the acquiescence of the city council, that is their non-action,
That's correct.
or their approval,
That's correct.
that they get to set how much it's going to cost and everything else without any other input? In other words, they get to do that themselves.
Assuming the city council does nothing. Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you.